Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know many of us have been hearing from our constituents. I certainly have. Marty from Wakanda, Illinois, wrote me, said, Equifax has jeopardized my private information, which I never gave them. Why should I have to do all of the work to monitor my credit? They should have done it for me or pay me to do all this of signing up and freezing my credit reports. They should pay me for my time. Should someone go to jail for this? Do you agree? James from Spring Grove said, this company, Equifax's careless actions have caused the loss of personal information on a scale never seen before, not due to some new or sophisticated hacking technique, but because they failed to patch their servers for a known problem. Combined with the careless handling of highly sensitive personal information and the likely criminal sales of stocks prior to reporting the breach, their action went far beyond carelessness to negligence. Legislation should be put forward to increase regulations on these entities, not decrease legislation that is proposed. Equifax must be held accountable and liable for all damage caused by their breach, and all credit reporting firms must be held to much higher standards of information security. John from Elburn said, in the last 6 months, my private and personal information has been lost twice, once by Home Point Financial, my mortgage company, and then again by Equifax. Both companies are offering a limited subscription to identity protection companies. HPF is offering a free year subscription to Protect My ID, owned by Experian. Equifax is offering a 1-year membership to Trusted ID Premier, an Equifax subsidiary, which they acquired in 2013. Seems like a twisted marketing campaign to me, he said. Home Point Financial claims to have lost Social Security numbers, birth dates, driver's license numbers. Many of these lost numbers cannot be changed. What good is a 1-year membership? This data is lost and valuable until I pass away. Is it ethical that a company that loses all my personal data also conveniently owns a service that sells a product and wants me to pay to help protect me from its eventual use? It's time that all these companies are held liable and forced to offer lifetime memberships. Please help us, all of us. This is out of control. Many other constituents, again, concerned, talked with parents of young people whose information has been compromised. Mr. Smith, when this committee sends questions for the record, of which there will be many, will the response to our questions come from you or from Equifax?
They'll come from the company, Congressman.
How should we respond in getting those answers from Equifax?
I'll make sure someone from the company reaches out to your staff. That'd
be great. Equifax has been investigating the breach now for over 2 months. Has the identity of the hackers been determined?
No, Congressman, it is not. As you know, we're engaged with the FBI, and FBI is running that investigation for us.
Do you have an opinion of whether it will eventually be determined, of who did it?
I do not.
Did outside data security consultants tell Equifax it should delay notifying the public? And if so, why, when, and for how long? What changed that allowed Equifax to notify the public in September?
Again, it was trying to balance. It was a team effort, and relied upon the input from our outside forensic examiner, global law firm that we talked about, and our team is trying to balance accuracy, clarity, transparency with the urgency of contacting the consumers.
Was an event like this in the scope and scale contemplated by your security staff in a preventable sense? Did a playbook exist for responding to material breach of Equifax's PII database?
Yes, there was a crisis management process that we've had in place for quite some time, and a data breach is one of the crisis examples that we've practiced routinely.
It just doesn't appear like you were ready for it, you know, that's our question of the incredible delays. You've heard from my constituents. This is just a small sampling of incredible frustration, fear that their information has been compromised, and they don't know if it's ever going to change. Echoing what one of them said, this is information you can't go back and change. You can't go back and get a new birth date or a new Social Security number. If Equifax had wished to notify the public within, let's say, 1 week of discovering the breach, would it have been capable of doing so? Could it have had both the resources and the plan in place to do so? Why or why not?
Congressman, we moved with haste. As I mentioned in my oral testimony and the written testimony, it wasn't until late August that we had a sense for the size and scope of the breach, and even that was continuing to move. We moved as quickly as possible thereafter.
Has there been any uptick in identity theft or fraud since the breach?
Not that I'm aware of.
Would you expect something like that to occur? And why might there not be an uptick yet? Or-
If consumers take advantage of the services that we're offering Congressman to lock their file, that will give them great protection.